Hello and welcome to our daily sketching routine. This down here is Thursday, November 13th, 2025, and today's topic is going to be a continuation of using timers to draw to help with drawing. But today will be 5 minutes, maybe 2 or 3, depends. But before we begin, welcome back if you're returning, and welcome if you're new to the channel. I sketch and post every day, and I use a timer to stay focused and to build a habit. I usually start a 10-minute timer, but I'll start a 1 minute or a 5-minute timer. But yeah, I'll link to the other previous video. I might just do 2 5-minute sessions because I'm going to talk a little bit, and so the video will be longer than like 10 minutes. So one thing I wanted to do was do kind of what I did yesterday, where I sketched from imagination for 1 minute, and you get stuff kind of like this. But then I'll do one like 5 minutes just to kind of do it and like show you, and if you want to sketch along. And then the other thing is, I looked up like a horse and cart because I don't really know what that looks like. That's as much as I know, and so there's like little details. So that's like another kind of good use for like a 5-minute like sketch. But the 5-minute sketching, or like the 1 minute, and then also like a 10-minute sketch, these are just tricks. I mean, these are helpful things that I still use to this day. But then let's say you have something and you want to detail it. What I usually do is I count up, and so I just start working on it because I actually just want to work on it. But I still run a timer, but it's counting up, and usually around 30 minutes. I have found for myself that that's usually a good time to like take a break from it so I can like see what I'm doing. But yeah, with that in mind, let's go ahead and sketch something for 5 minutes. So I'll go ahead and start a 5-minute timer. So like yesterday, you can just like draw something, but that was for like 1 minute. But one thing that could happen is I kind of have this idea, like maybe turn this into something. So for example, let's say that like this is let's go over here, like a book. Again, that just kind of came from like this thing. And it's essentially the same thing as yesterday, where you're just going to, or I'm going to just do this. Like it's like a 1 minute sketch, except this is 5 minutes, so you can develop it further. But you don't have to force it. And so that's what's nice about like the timers, is that since there's a timer, there's a tendency to want to maybe force something or feel overwhelmed, that kind of thing. But since I know I don't have that much time, I'm just going to do what I can see. So I can kind of see something like this. Now all of the principles of drawing, they're still here. I mean, you don't have to use a timer like at all. But like I said, I still do. I time like all of my art sessions. But yeah, like let's say that I have an idea and I'm just going to sit down to work on it, to detail it. I'm still going to use a timer to see like how much time has elapsed, and I track it. I think that's just a good thing. I mean, you don't have to, but I'm just saying, like for me, it's just been really helpful because it's hard to quantify. And also the other thing is, the amount of time you spend on something doesn't necessarily mean that it's a better picture. Although if you are going to detail something, it's going to take some time, but it's really not a bad thing if it's going in the right direction. But it feels bad if it doesn't turn out the way you want. So for example, like I might want to look up something just for ideas, or maybe an idea will come to me for like what's on the actual page, but I don't have to force anything. So we've got a couple of minutes, and yeah, you can just kind of keep developing stuff. So for example, like here, maybe to separate it a little bit, yeah, I'll just kind of like work on this a little bit. Like, I might, I mean, I guess I'll just give this person this thing too. A hood. That's one thing you can do, is add more detail, refine the picture. Here we just like added to it. Start to define the light and dark aspect. Now the light and dark doesn't have to be cross-hatching, which is kind of what all of this is. It can just be, I'm just going to make something up here. It can just be like more outlined. So you can clean up the outline, stuff like this. It's also light and dark. Because you can just kind of think about, well, if it's outlined, it can kind of look cartoony, but it can also be just the lighting, kind of like even lighting. But stuff like this, I'm just cleaning it up. So that's 5 minutes. So that's one thing you can do, is just add on to it, to something that was already there. You can refine some things, like fix some things. You can yeah, like clean up the lines. You don't have to crosshatch, you can just outline it. I mean, I'm being sketchy on purpose, but I mean, I guess you could have used a straight edge. I don't really feel the need to there. But here, the other 5 minute thing that could happen is, like, you have something kind of like this. Again, you could fix something, there's that, and then also add details. So I'll start another 5 minute timer, and I just looked up a horse and cart, and I'll add some details to it. Yeah, I don't know, like, all of the, and it depends on how much detail. And I find that this is a helpful way to do studies without getting like overwhelmed. It just takes, I mean, you can't really force yourself to remember everything, and you don't really need to, honestly. So yeah, I just saw like a horse and cart kind of thing. I mean, the other way to do it is to look up a horse and cart, and that's fine too. But I'm just gonna, first of all, like, when I did look up a horse and cart, there's all sorts of different varieties. So there's that. So that's kind of fun to invent. I just call it like invention, because they look all sorts of like ways. So one is, it needs a like, I don't know the technical names, but something to pull the cart. You have something like that, and then all the harness. But then this thing is kind of, it's not that detailed anyway, but I mean, it looks better than I used to draw horses, I know that. There, you can just like make stuff up. maybe a hat on this person. Shadows under this cart. So yeah, this is an example of a 1-minute sketch, but then when you look up reference to just kind of add like a little bit of detail. Also maybe some trees over here. Like you can just add some jaggedy shapes. And then turn it into you can turn this into a very detailed illustration if you want, or just kind of use it as I just think it's a fun thing to do, and then it teaches you a lot, but without it being kind of like a boring thing. And it can also turn into a story. Like one thing that I can see is maybe like the clouds right here. About a minute left. But yeah, like to clean up this kind of thing. I mean, you have a choice. If you want to introduce maybe like a different look, so maybe to clean up like this part, just gonna use like a thinner pen. Like it depends on how you want to develop it. So for example, if I were gonna use these, let's say I sketch something and I'm going to do like a more detailed, like I wouldn't sit here and detail all of that. Like that's fine. That's a good sketch, like to me. And then you would develop that. If the idea is I'm going to turn this into like this finished illustration, I would actually just kind of start to detail it. Like I kind of like these pictures. But that's gonna be it. That's 5 minutes right there. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Tomorrow I'll do like a 10-minute kind of thing. You'd be surprised in 10 minutes you can do a lot of detail depending on how clear you are about what you want to do or how focused you are. But yeah, I want to thank you for joining me for a daily sketching routine, and if you enjoy these videos, please support the channel. I appreciate it, and until next time, keep on sketching.